All right, you're welcome. You're welcome. You are welcome to another episode of the podcast, Wealth Breach. I don't get to do this alone. We are all back like we never left. I have my powerful, amiable co host with me in attendance. I will throw it at them. Let's check the temperature of the room. Are you doing Demola? Are you doing Debola?
I'm doing exceedingly great.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to be
And how are
back.
you doing, ma'am?
Yeah,
Love to be back.
pumped up, fired up, super excited, like we always say.
Yes, yes,
Excellent.
yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Pumped up. I hope you guys heard her. Pumped up. Fired up. Super excited.
Super excited.
I'm going to warn you before we go into today's podcast, okay? That you please grab your bowl of popcorn or what have you. This is one of the topic. We went to the kitchen, got you the perfect recipe. These powerful people sat down together and we will be slicing and dicing it for you. Why am I saying that? It's media, people. And most of the things that we'll hear from people is how can we do better now that we know better? All right. If we're going to be doing better and bringing you all the cream de la cream here in this community, we want you to be above the par and just not trying to, live life just like the norm. And that's the reason why we have today's topic, taxes. When you hear taxes, what comes to mind? Some people are already say, oh my God, IRS is calling my name. Wait, maybe he's not calling your name. So people look at it from an angle of, oh my God, this is a punitive measure. While we see others looking at it from an incentive point of view. It's today we want you to make sure we start having a different conversation about it and understanding the system before it costs you. Don't forget our core community is the immigrant community. And many people, or for many people, taxes create a lot of fear. Like they're so fearful, they don't even want to hear the word. So people will even literally just wait till April or March before they start doing something. And guess what? After that tax season is gone, guess what? They wait again until another March. We cannot live life like that. It's like you're literally getting to the game late. So if you get to the game late, what's going to happen? You already lost the battle. You
Yeah.
already lost the battle. So some think of taxes as your owning money, while some think of deductions from their paycheck. Some think of it as just, oh my God, tax season is so stressful. But today we want to look at taxes differently. So borrow your lenses and let's look at it together. What if taxes are not only punitive, listeners? What if taxes are also informative? What if the tax system is not just taking you from, taking money from you, but also showing you what the system has in place to reward you? Are you leveraging on that reward? That's why we're trying to spill the beans here. No gatekeeping at all when it comes to WealthBridge. So today we'll begin part one of this conversation. You know what? I don't get to do this alone. So I'm just going to ask my co-host because I thought we cannot dish all of these things out in the first, episode. Do you guys agree? So
Yeah.
I felt it will be more valuable for us to, let's look at this on two episodes so that we can knock it off. And I have my amazing co-hosts who are going to do justice to this. I'll let us get right quickly into this so that we can start looking at why are taxes or why could it be more of an incentive rather than a punitive measure? And what should you and I be doing to understand the system before it costs us? I'm going to start with Debola right now. Look at these champions. Look at these leaders. Oh my God. They are killing it in their own community. And you can now see the three of us coming together. You better be sharing this episode. You better be sharing or sending out to someone. Don't keep us as a secret. Don't do it. You don't want to do it. Share, share, share so that you don't miss this episode and so that your sister, your brother doesn't miss this episode. So my very first question is going to come from the standpoint, the obvious question, Debola. When many people hear the word taxes, they immediately fringe. Somebody is already saying they are coming for me.
Yeah.
Not your village people. They immediately think about punishment, Demola. They think about deductions. They think about owing money, audit. And sometimes, you know, something being taken away from them. But
Mm.
why do you think people naturally see taxes this way, Adebola?
Wow, that's a very, 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 scary question, I would say. But really, let's even look at it this way. It's not just, I would say, it's not just immigrants alone, because we're talking, we're actually, try to bring some information to our immigrant community. But taxes in a new environment could be scary, especially where we are. And even to myself, when it comes to taxes, it's like I want to do everything right. So people often see it as punishment because, number one, first and foremost, they believe they are experiencing loss. And not even they believe, they do experience the loss, like an immediate loss. You know, forget about the benefits that are indirect. You see a paycheck that shows hundreds of or thousands of dollars being deducted, you know, though the value that you're going to receive through some other community development, or like emergency services, public services, they will come, but you are experiencing a loss that you don't want to let go. You don't want to give that thing away.
Mm.
And that's one of the things that actually, people feel that, oh, I'm doing all this work, I'm sweating, and then I'm just taking a little home. And in many cases, what you're taking home is so, you feel, wow, it's like almost half of what you believe you have earned.
Coming to you.
So why wouldn't you feel that you're being punished?
Mm.
Shock out my
Because,
life.
yeah, why would you not feel that you're being punished? You think, okay, after doing all this work and I've made this amount and I'm only taking like half of it home. So
Mm.
I'm not surprised, and I don't blame people. I've felt the same way too. Even though I know that, oh, taxes are used for this, but I still feel that why should that amount be taken out of my income? You know, and then I have to go on with. So that means that's what makes us want to work more. And the
Mm.
more we work, the more we get taxed. The more we make, the more we get taxed, because we're trying to like make up for that. So all that, with the family stuff that comes with it, you know, it actually feels like I'm just doing this thing and Uncle Sam is just taking it.
Mm. Wonderful.
So emotionally, it feels like something is being taken away. That's one very important reason why people see that, okay, this is a punishment for me. Another
Mm.
reason is that many people do not understand how taxes work. They only engage with taxes during tax season, and by
Mm.
then they are stressed out. Maybe they didn't even keep good records. They were probably spending throughout the year, and when taxes come now, and now that's when they remember that they have to do this, they have to do that. You need to understand how taxes work.
Mm.
You need to plan ahead of time. Gather your documents. Don't get to the point of rushing, and just hoping that, oh, I hope I'm going to get something back. I hope I'm not going to. No, it doesn't work like that way. It doesn't work that way. One other thing is the fear of control, of lack of control. When people don't understand the system, they feel powerless. And really, to be sincere, I've been there before. You feel powerless when you don't know what it all means, because it's not the same where you're coming from. You feel though, okay, it was like it's like a cry for help. Can someone come to my rescue? And it takes a while for you to actually, for immigrants to actually fit into that system, get adapted to how things work when it comes to taxes, and know that it's very important for you to plan. Don't wait until when tax season is here, plan ahead of time. So poor planning also result to, having that emotional feeling of, oh, I'm being punished and all that. So I'm going to stop there for now.
That's fine. That's okay. I think you handled that properly. Thank you very much. She kept saying something over and over. She said, I once felt that way. I also had the same feeling. So that's just to tell our viewers or our listeners to saying that, hey, we are all in the same system. Oh. So no one is isolated. So we're saying, how can we make the best out of the situation we find ourselves? And this was a very strong place that Debola actually, started off. Most people are not necessarily afraid of taxes in itself by themselves, but they're afraid of what they do not understand. You see? So if fear is not connected, or if fear is connected, for lack of better word, to the lack of understanding, then education becomes the first step.
Mhm.
So let's talk about the mindset shift here, Demola.
Hmm.
The An average individual person, they will already have a particular mindset regarding taxes, how they are viewing it. Debola talked about it. But how can a person begin to shift their primary or default mindset from taxes are punishing me, to taxes are giving me information about my financial life?
Wow. I mean, it's very interesting you asked that question. And one thing that pops to my head is, Hosea 4:6 that says, "My people perish for lack
For
of
lack of
knowledge."
knowledge. Okay.
And that's where it stems from.
Mm,
What you don't know, you often fear. But once you
mm,
know something, you know how it works, then that thing now you can now take good advantage of that. And
mm,
that's the beginning of where that mindset shift should come from. If you look at in most of our communities, yes, we are foreigners. Most of our parents, or we might even be the first generation
mm,
immigrant. So if we don't even understand how the taxes work, the religious institutions are not teaching us, the school systems are not teaching us, the our parents don't even know it. Can't you see we're in trouble? So it stems from a place of understanding, like we always talk about financial literacy. It
mm,
comes from that. One of the things is taxes is just one piece of the puzzle in your financial portrait.
mhm,
So we have to look at it as taxes is just one of those things that we also need to learn. So the first shift, like I said, is the standpoint of the educational piece of it. Number one. So we also need to look at taxes as our tax return or our tax portfolio, our tax scenario, as if it's telling a story. you know what is it telling us? It's almost kind of like a GPS. It's leading us somewhere, but if we're feeding it the wrong information, we cannot get to the right destiny we want, the right destination we want. So we have to understand that even though the tax income, our tax return, it shows our income sources, it shows the deductions, all the credits, the retirement contributions, the activities, you know, and sometimes, the lack of our own planning.
mm.
Just like right now, we're saying when the second half of the year, that's why this is very timely. So if you're not planning to be ahead of the tax game, you're going to be behind.
You're using it.
Yeah.
So instead of only asking, why do I owe money? How much is my refund? You know, People should also ask, what is this tax situation telling me about how my financial life is structured?
Mm.
What is that for your financial picture? What is it looking like? Is it blurry? Is it clear?
It's a 2020 vision.
Or somebody poured sand inside your gari, as they say from where we come from? You know. So taxes are not just numbers, our viewers. They are
Okay.
signals. If you owe unexpectedly, that may be a signal that your withholding needs to be reviewed. It might be certain things, the inputs, some of the things, might need some adjustment. If your business, tax bill is high, that may be a signal that you need, better record keeping, estimated tax planning, or business structure. So when you treat taxes as information, you stop being reactive and you become more proactive. I'll leave it
Clock
at that.
it, brother. Clock it, brother. Did you guys hear? Are you listening? Gems are being thrown out here today. I told you, get your bowl of popcorn. All right. Thank you, brother. That is so important. All what he said. Taxes can become a mirror. You are looking at it, it's looking at you. You get it? So they show us where we are either organized or disorganized, where we have been exposed, and where we may be missing opportunities. That's another thing. So now let's move into the incentive side of this conversation. Somebody's already said, okay, Dupe, I've heard now. Then, so how is this an incentive? We're going to take you through that lens, and Debola is going to help us with that. Debola, if taxes can be considered as incentives, what are some of the examples of behaviors, right, that the tax system tends to reward an average person? You don't need to be anything special, right? What are those behaviors the tax system tends to reward? They would like to hear. Go ahead and
I
spill.
mean, let's talk about that. I mean, from my experience, which I've enjoyed some of these incentives years after year while filing my taxes. And we're not talking about the things that the tax money is being used for in our communities, but we're talking about the fact that even when you get to file your taxes, there's some incentives that you may enjoy depending on if you're eligible for it. And one very important one is the retirement savings. A lot of people have retirement plans that they have, maybe individual ones or with their employers and all that. But the system, encourage people to save for future for the future actually, and they give advantages. Okay, so that means you are able to save without paying taxes on the money that you are saving, and that helps your retirement account to grow. And a lot of people they take advantage of this particular portfolio. They put money in their retirement, and they are not paying tax on that money. So this is a way of saying that prepare for your future, and there may be tax benefits for doing so. Another one is also giving. The Bible even says that the more you give, the more you receive. And it's one of the things that happens here in this country. If you give, charitable givings, eligible ones, you also get tax credits back by the time you're filing your taxes. The tax system provide benefits. When you give qualified charitable organizations, they give you something back. That means, like the taxes you paid on those giving, whatever it is that you're giving. So depending on how you file your taxes, that is something that you're going to get back. Well, let me say not get back, but get some incentive from that. So the more you give, the more you get back. All right. Business ownership. Oh my, business ownership in this country, it's just something that everybody should, let me say, you should go into. When you have a business, the tax system generally allows business expenses, legitimate business expenses, to be deducted because businesses require investment, and that's a very great incentive. So expenses, things that you're using for your business, there's some of those things that you can actually, get credits on by the time you're filing your taxes. So taxes is not all bad, and it's not to punish us. There are systems that are in place to even help you when you are doing the right thing, to enjoy some incentive even with taxes. Education is another thing. Home ownership. All those things that I'm talking about, I have experienced, some of these incentives, your health related accounts and some other things like that. So depending on what you have, talking with your accountant when you're filing your taxes, they will let you know some of these incentives and how there's also the child credits, that's another one. So if you have children, you also get something, back into your pocket. So the point is that the system often rewards behaviors that build stability, that build growth, productivity, and long-term planning. So it's not all bad when we talk about taxes in this country.
Excellent.
I'll
Thank
stop
you.
right there.
Thank you. Wonderful. I heard charitable giving, and I know all my immigrants are all charitable in nature.
Yeah.
Are you leveraging that side of the house, or are you just leaving it to waste? Okay. I heard retirement savings, right? So you're being encouraged to put money towards your futuristic portfolio, for lack of a better word. Are you
Mhm.
leveraging it? Are you leveraging those tax deferred buckets? Are you leveraging those tax free buckets? In case you're having to ask yourself, I was in a meeting last night and somebody was asking what is a tax free bucket.
Hmm.
Trust me, if you have more questions regarding that, every single one of us here on this podcast are available to answer you. And when we say answer you, we're sitting down with you on a one on one to understand where you're coming from, understand your objective, and showing you value so you know what to do as far as making the best decision for yourself. Now, that changes the entire conversation, folks. Instead of us only saying that taxes are taken from us, guess what? Now we are asking the question, what is the system rewarding? What should I be doing? We just talked about it. She talked about the tax-free retirement portfolios. She talked about even the tax-deferred retirement portfolio. Of course, we won't have the time to spill all the beans here on this podcast. You can reach out to us if you so desire to want to know more, right? And so many people can be asking the question, am I better positioned to benefit from this? Listener, ask yourself as you're listening to us, ask yourself, my name is Tayo, my name is Tolu, my name is Tokme. Am I actually leveraging? My name is Chidima, my name is Chinozo, my name is Chino, anything. My name is Azan. Azan, are you leveraging all the benefits in the tax code? Maybe you're not. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you are. Why don't you sit down and have a complimentary conversation and let's see where you're going? When we know better, we do better. And that's
Yes.
going to take me to the next question, Demola. And I know you're going to do justice to this. For employees, especially my W-2 workers, the tax, I mean, we're being taxed, but it's not like it's not a tax exempt environment. So
Not at
taxes may
all.
feel automatic. It's like, you could have said this is what I'm expected to get. At the end of the day, this is what I see in my direct deposit. Oh my God. Debola talked about it earlier. You get 100%. Maybe it's only 40% that follows you home.
Yes, so
And then we
that's
begin to say that your take home is no longer taking you home. Tada.
it's dropping you halfway.
It's dropping you halfway. So you have to now say, oh, let us get momentum to take us home. So the employer withholds taxes and the employee simply receives the net pay. What should employees understand beyond paycheck deductions, Demola? They need to hear from you. They need to hear from you.
Man, I mean, I think for me, one of the very first things employees should, they should understand that withholding is not the same thing as tax planning. A lot of times, people think, oh, because they withholding more, my old tax strategies in place. No, that's even just a little piece of it. But just because taxes are being taken out of your paycheck does not mean everything is optimized. There are so many other things that you can do. Employees should review, their withholding, their benefits, what is being withheld from my account every single paycheck. What are my benefits? It's so ironic that so many people just know that they just get paid. They don't even look at their paycheck to see all the things that is being itemized, that is taken from their paycheck. So are you looking at your retirement contributions? Do you even know what your retirement contributions? There's several times we sit down with our clients and you ask them, how much are you contributing into your retirement? They don't even know. What is the dependent care options that you've chosen? Your health savings plan. What options are you looking at? Which ones are you eligible? Do you even know how much that is out of your paycheck is going into that? Also, any side income that you may have, how is it impacting how that whole withholding is looking like? So these things can affect, your entire tax. Like I said, the portrait of the holistic picture of what your taxes look like. We also have to remember that also employees need to stop seeing a refund as only the sign of success.
Mm-mm.
You know, people get their tax refund. Ah, they are going to go buy that Louis Vuitton. Hey, Agbára today. No, I mean, no, 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 no. We need to refrain from all that. You
Mm.
need to understand that, you know, even though that refund may feel good, you know, we enjoy it. It almost feels almost kind of like an instant gratification that you're not even expecting it. But it also may be telling something that maybe you withheld more. You
Yeah.
know, maybe too much was withheld throughout the year. So on the other hand, Uncle Sam might be coming back for you later when they audit you. And they'll say, "Ah, that money you ate." Oh yeah. Start to vomit that money. You know, so employees need to become more curious. We need to ask more questions. You know, ask,
The
how is my
education.
paycheck taxed?
Mm.
What benefits am I not using? You
Mm.
know, how am I contributing to retirement? You know, does my W4 still reflect my current reality? So there's so many things. They say the quality of your questions will determine the outcome of your life. So what kind of questions are you asking when it comes to the area of your tax in area of taxes, especially for our employees? Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I saw you kind of slicing and dicing it right. We're getting home, we're getting home, we're getting home. It's been amazing. It's really great listening to all my co-hosts, spill out the beans. I hope somebody is catching value. To be honest, I hope you are. And if you are, don't keep us as a secret. Share us to your friend, your cousin, your brother, your sister in diaspora so that they also can learn from this. You have the ability to go back to our previous episode to go see what are the things we've spoken about so you can also help yourself. This is very practical. Many people are working hard but not asking enough questions. Demola said it. So the quality of the questions you ask will usually determine the quality of the life you're going to be living. Because if you're not asking those questions and you're not, so of course, you're not going to get answers, right, to those questions. I'll have Debola take us home. Are you ready, ma'am? Are you ready to take us home? We'll rather
Right.
go home in a Rolls Royce or what? What are we going to go home in? We want to go home now.
Lamborghini.
Go
Lamborghini,
go
okay?
ahead.
What else did you say? PJ, private jet? Anyone, bring it on. Bring it on. So for immigrant and families in diaspora, why is it especially important to understand taxes early? If you could just wrap that up, and definitely we're going to be taking this on another episode so we can finish more and give value to our people. Why is it especially important to understand taxes early? Go for it.
All right. So to round this up, I'm just going to say that, like, education is important generally, and we've been talking about financial education on this platform. We've and if you don't know, your taxes are also part of your finances. When you're making financial plans, you have to also plan for your taxes. So for immigrants, I would say, tax education is not only about just filing a return. Okay, it is it's part of your financial protection. Your successful settlement and generational wealth building. You know,
Mhm.
your you have to, like for instance, a person's, how will I say, without the knowledge that you need, you can't really get to plan very well. So whatever you need to know about taxes, even for your, or even just for your own family, then I will advise that you get onto it. You have, if you need to talk to your accountant, it is important. Find out what you need to know. Okay, and many immigrants come from countries where tax system, may not operate very, or let me say, operate very differently from what we see here. So they may bring assumptions that do not fit into this system. And that means they need to learn what actually fits here. And the good news is that once they learn, they can make better decisions.
Hmm.
Tax education helps people, move from fear to confidence, move from thinking that you are being punished to really see that, oh, there's something good about paying taxes. Move from confusion to strategies. And I would say from a survivor mode to a wealth building mode. So education is good, and this is part of financial education. Learn what you need to know about taxes so that you don't make the mistakes that some other people have made, or you don't continue to make that mistakes
Mm.
and thinking that, oh, this is just about punishing me, and for just, let me try to avoid it. you're only going to get yourself into more trouble. I'm going
Yeah.
to stop at that.
Great, great, great. And this is a perfect place for us to pause right here. There is nothing we say on this podcast that we won't talk about financial education because it's the hallmark of where we're going. So, just like we said, what if you have all those multiple streams of income and you're not considering how much of these multiple income streams will actually go to taxes?
Hmm.
Uncle, auntie, you have not done justice to it. You have not. You have not. So Deborah talked about see your accountant. And most of the time, I even say to us, to all our clients, sit down with a tax strategist. Not all accountants will tell you this. Sit down with a tax strategist. Sit down with a financial professional. All of these professionals are working hand in hand to ensure that things can work better for you. So we've talked why many people see taxes as punishment. And we're saying have a mindset shift. Ask honest questions. This conversation is so elaborate and yet educative. So we're going to be continuing, on the part two in another episode. This is what I want to tell. I want to leave with our viewers. Make sure you save the date. Make sure you save the date. It's always on Saturday we come live to you, okay? Wherever you are, every Saturday. As a matter of fact, subscribe to our channel. Turn on your notification bell so that you will not miss that episode that will finish up this conversation. It's bigger than you think. It's bigger than you think. I want to say special thank you to my co-host, Ademola. You've been excellent. Adebola, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much for, bringing value to our audience. I'm sure somebody learned something today. And until when next we meet, I want to say keep learning, keep asking those qualitative questions, like Debola
Yeah.
said. And remember, when we know better, it's not for us to sit in that zone.
Yeah.
We want to
Do
continue to
better.
be better. And
Yes.
so until we come your way another time, this is the Wealth Bridge podcast, where we bridge the gap and we build the wealth. See you next time. Bye,
All
everyone.
right, viewers. God bless. Take care, Modupe and Debola.
Yes, sir. Signing out
Bye.
now. Bye.